Hello and welcome to the Inverex Solar Energy Pitchside Show. Well, Pakistan were dominant at the end of the day yesterday, ending things at 181 for 0. They've got a partnership between Abdullah Shafiq and Imamul Haq, both looking good for 100. But we'll have to wait and watch how things go today because there's still a long way to go in this test match. Now, I've got with me David Kaur and Waqar Yunus. DG, day one completely belonged to England. Day two, Pakistan, they've put up a good show with the bat so far.
They have indeed. The notable thing, of course, is two very different paces to the innings. England were outstanding. We know that on day one, just the runs per over was just stratospheric. It was that positive approach which we know and love back in the UK, and nice to see it here as well. The response inevitably had to be a question, first of all, of Pakistan making sure that nothing went slightly wrong. And nothing has gone wrong. They have batted very well. They've batted at the right sort of pace for them. And they've done everything they needed to do on that second day to make sure there were no disasters, to make sure they come this morning with, okay, still 3 days to go. It's amazing the number of runs we've seen in the first 2 days overall. It feels as though from the number of runs we've been here for about 4 days. But at least they know that they've done the right thing to set a platform and they can bat long.
Waqar, how should Pakistan approach day three of this test match today?
Just keep it simple. Go session by session, go make small goals. So far in this test match, 6 sessions been played, and most of the sessions, I don't want to number it, but most of the sessions been won by England. Pakistan were very good in the last 2 sessions yesterday, so they have to really play out of their skin. It's not over yet. It's just they got to really play well because the danger is still hanging on them. So bat well, bat long, and these two, if they get 100, and they are used to of getting big hundreds, and so that should be the first thing in the morning, that don't lose wicket in the morning session, or maybe if you lose one, and then build on from there.
Well, they need to bat long and they need to bat well, especially in that first session, is what Waqar Yunus is saying. But for that, they'll need the pitch to be supportive as well. Let's find out if it's changed at all with Bazid Khan.
Pitch Report brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Yeah, I'm very lonely here at the pitch today because normally you have the players come around and look at it. Right now, everybody is sort of staying well away from the pitch. Nobody has come all morning to look at the pitch. I don't know why that is. Maybe because there's no wickets that has been taken. In terms of development, again, I'm just sort of repeating myself from day one. There's nothing significant to talk about. Maybe one ball. It's the only one ball mark that I can find, a red ball mark. It isn't even sort of doing anything. It's just a little red patch here, which signifies absolutely nothing. So it's still a brilliant wicket to bat on. It's still the one that bowlers will have to work extremely hard to get a wicket, and they'll need luck as well. The one thing I can say for sure, a couple of days ago when that virus hit and there was rumors that maybe Nasir Hussain, Michael Atherton and David Gower would get a chance to play, I think they're regretting that decision because they would have loved to bat here.
Pitch Report brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
I think David would have loved to bat there, isn't it?
Well,
Even now.
Yes, it makes me giggle. I can honestly say that for a lot of the last, I don't know how many years, but since I finished playing, a couple of years ago now, that there have been very few occasions where I thought, yes, I could still go out there and make a couple of runs, maybe 3 or 4. But this is one of those pitches where you think, actually, I could turn the clock back and make a few runs. But actually, realistically, you think, no, it's their job. That's fine. That time is gone. But it's nice to be mentioned in dispatches.
If you're an England bowler right now, Waqar, obviously you've played a lot for Pakistan, but the kind of conditions that we've seen, what would you be thinking? How do I get this Pakistan team out?
I got to sort of keep bowling the way they bowled yesterday. Maybe you need to have inside outfield. Yesterday they were over-attacking at times, and the too many fielders were too close to the bat. This pitch is still very, very good to bat on, as Bazid said. So I don't think you need to have too many people around the bat. You give protection especially to the spinners, which Pakistan made a mistake of not doing it early in the game, and Give them fielders out on the boundaries also, and then also keep the fielders inside. Yes, let them allow them to get singles, or if they want to run two, that's fine. Don't give them easy boundaries. And I think once you start hitting boundaries, you start feeling good as a batsman. So just keep doing the same, I think, what they did yesterday. Just play with the field.
Yeah, play with the field and keep the basics simple is what Waqar Yunus has to say. And we've got plenty more for you on this Inverex Solar Energy Pitchside Show, but after the short break. Welcome back on the Inverex Solar Energy Pitchside Show. Now, we've seen that it's been hard for the bowlers out there, but it'll be interesting to find out what kind of balls they prefer in a test match, whether it's the Duke ball or the Kookaburra. Let's head over to Aruj Mumtaz with Waqar Yunus.
Expert advice brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about different kind of variations in the cricketing balls that have been used over time. We talk about surfaces and how they play out, but I've been joined by the legendary Waqar Yunus, and who better to talk us about the variations in cricketing balls over the years?
Aruj, we have seen so many changes being made over the years. The laws changed, and the bat sizes changed, the weights changed. But when you talk about cricket balls, the only thing is changed is the manufacturers. And of course, the seam, the pronounced seams, or the flat seams. And now I've got different, cricket balls which been used in Test match cricket. In our days, when I first played, this was the ball which was used, which is great, which is a local cricket ball, made in Pakistan, which was not a bad ball. And see, what I'm just trying to sort of compare is, this is a brand new ball, this is an old ball. This is about 50 or old, still pretty brand new. I mean, it stays really rock.
Old.
Yeah, still really stays rock hard. So nothing much changed. And let's talk about the Kookaburra here, because that's also very, very similar. Very brand new ball, which is looks very good. The seam is not as pronounced as you'll see probably with the Duke cricket ball, and this is also somewhere around 50 overall. This is like totally gone. It's not really easy for a bowlers to sort of bowl, especially on a surface where there's nothing much you can really get sideways. And let's talk about the Duke cricket ball. This is, I feel, the best cricket ball made. This is probably the oldest cricket ball used in Test match cricket. Beautiful seam, nice, beautiful dark color, which you always want as a fast bowler. Seam is very pronounced, so I think this is probably, for me, it's the best ball. And this is also like sort of around 40 overs old, and it still stays very, very hard. And talk about pink ball. This is pink ball, which has been used in day-night cricket. Beautiful. Once again, it's a Kookaburra cricket ball, but once the light comes on, it is very, very difficult to sort of handle, especially in Australia and South Africa. And this is again about 40 overs old, becomes very, very difficult to bat on. So there are different balls, but I feel when you're playing in this sort of condition in Pakistan on a surface, there's nothing much for the bowlers. I feel Kookaburra is the right ball. We have made so many changes over the years. You know, we brought Kookaburra, Duke, and then went back to Kookaburra, Grays. But I feel, for me, this is the best ball.
Waqar, you obviously worked with the Pakistan team and in so many places. You worked with a lot of spinners as well.
Yeah.
Now, for me as a leg spinner, I always like something with a pronounced seam.
Yeah.
We played with the Kookaburra, of course, which didn't get a lot of purchase. But again, I think if you go with the spinner's point of view and the people you've worked with, you played with the great Saklan Mushtaq as well. What kind of ball would he have preferred with, obviously, to get purchase off the surface?
You enjoyed it with Duke cricket ball, isn't it? So I feel you can go and ask Saklan. He will say Duke cricket ball, because it's easy to grip. It's got seam, and if you land on the seam, you'll get some purchase out of the surface or any surface. So I think for me, this is the best cricket ball. But then again, different conditions. In Australia, South Africa, where there's a lot more bounce, I don't think you can play with this one. Kookaburra is probably the best there. For our conditions, I feel Duke is the ball to play with.
Thanks, Waqar, very much for joining me. And like you've heard from him, evolution and revolutionizing the game, it's what makes it exciting.
Expert advice brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Very clear for Waqar Yunus. He goes with the Duke ball. I mean, you spoke about it as well. Is it because you get more from the ball itself, in terms of seam movement, and it just has more to offer?
It's a seam. It's a lot more pronounced than the kookaburra or any other cricket ball, and especially when you're playing in these conditions where there's not much happening off the surface. At least you have a little bit more seam or a pronounced seam that it will hit the seam and it goes sideways. Maybe I'm not saying that it will do a lot, but at least there'll be something for the bowlers to sort of hope for. Even for the spinners, I feel the Duke cricket ball, because of the seam, they will get a little bit more out of the surface. I know I probably said it that the kookaburra is probably better for these conditions, but I was wrong. I meant the Duke ball, I think, in these conditions are the best ball.
Well, Duke ball is what Waqar Yunus has gone for, but it's time to hear from the experts what they have to say how today is going to go. So let's find out with expert predictions.
Expert prediction brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Quick thoughts. How many wickets in the first session? DG, you've been good with your predictions so far, going based on
close. I have to say 2.
2 wickets in the first session.
Is it in the entire day?
No, in the next 3 days.
In the next 3 days. What about you, Waqar?
I feel Pakistan will bat the whole day. So first session, I don't want Pakistan to lose more than 1 wicket. That's the only way they can survive the day.
Right. 2 and 1, not much happening. That was expert predictions for you.
Expert prediction brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having you here, and we're only moments away from the action now. Pakistan ending the day on 181 for 0. Imam ul Haq is out there, and he seems to be loving batting in these conditions at the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium. He's got 200s against Australia, and he'd be hoping to continue that form today. He's also got a good partnership on with Abdullah Shafiq, but we'll be taking a short break. When we do come back, we'll be right here back with all the live action of day 3 in this test match between Pakistan and England. So don't go anywhere.